So as always, I want to welcome everyone to the webinar series. This one is on how to handle credit cards when the internet goes down. So it's really important, especially during this month when it kind of started off the crazy holiday shopping season. You guys don't need to panic, and the last thing you need to worry about is not being able to take credit cards and not have that income flowing in. So I want to go ahead and talk about a couple different options. As far as that goes, you guys all know me, but my name is Jenny Cooper. My role here is a marketing writer, used to be tech. I've been here for a little over 2 years now. The audience level on this is easy. It's made for both pharmacy and hardware, so you can definitely utilize that. And the goal of the Paladin webinar series is to give you an advanced training medium to aid involving the use of your Paladin system to make your stores even more successful. For this presentation, I want you to walk away with being able to understand how to handle credit cards when the internet goes down, and importantly knowing that you're not going to be able to panic, essentially, during this time of chaos. Okay, and I am being assisted by Mr. Chad Klein. He's going to be my organizer today. He'll be responsible for recording any of the webinars. You also can participate in any questions. If you may have them, you can simply type them in, and then we can unmute you if we need to at the end, since this is kind of a sensitive topic about credit cards. It's going to be a little bit of a shorter webinar, so there's going to be a lot of availability at the end for questions. So feel free to definitely chat in and or say, hey, I want to talk, and we can go ahead and talk about that as well. Okay? Everyone's going to be in listen-only mode, like I just said. We're going to go ahead and unmute if we need to. At the end, there's going to be a survey. As always, let me know how I'm doing, different things like that, what we can do to improve on. And then as the end of the year approaches, we need to come up with that many more topics. So if you guys have ideas on what you want to see kind of in the new year, please let us know and write it down in that survey, and we can get you going on there. If you're not here or you need to basically revisit this webinar, you can, paladinpointorsale.com/webinars. There's going to be a PDF version, and then also not my face, but my voice will be on the rest of the webinar. And then also today, I have joining us Jo Alice from Mercury Payment Systems. She's going to chime in here in a little bit once we get to the option for Mercury customers, and we're going to go ahead and kind of talk about that and elaborate a little bit on the Mercury option of things, so we kind of have a guest speaker, so to speak. So Chad, if you haven't started recording already, go ahead and do so at this point, and we'll go ahead and get started. All right, so how to handle credit cards when the internet goes down. Okay, what we're going to be covering options for Manetra customers, for Mercury customers, and then also we here at Paladin have an option for both, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, Manetra. First, we're going to talk about them. There's a couple of different things. If you are a Manetra client, if you've been with Manetra for quite a while, some of the older systems, they actually used to automatically do a failover router, a backup router, essentially, or a modem, excuse me, not a router. And what it'll do, it'll switch over to a phone line. That way, when your internet goes down, you can continue to run credit cards. Now, this is an automatic feature for people who have had Manetra for a really long time, and it was just essentially built into the software. They no longer have that. So if you've had Manetra only for a year or two, you actually are not able to use that feature, unfortunately, anymore. But you can do a standalone terminal. So what you do with Manetra is you actually contact your credit card processor. Each credit card processor has different guidelines and different rules, so to speak. So what you need to do is contact your credit card processor, not Manetra specifically, and then they, most of the time, will provide you with a standalone terminal as far as that goes. You just have to contact them directly. Unfortunately, here at Paladin, we are not able to contact them directly, as it is your guys' account, because we're not fully integrated with Manetra, but there is still that option out there. If it goes down, the standalone terminal can run on your phone line instead of on the internet, so you'll be able to do that. Now, it's important to know inside Paladin what you need to do if your internet does go down and you have to go to that standalone terminal. In Paladin, you need to turn credit cards off, and I want to go ahead and show you how to do that. So we're going to go ahead and tab over to the desktop in Paladin here. Excuse me while it gets opened up real quick. While I'm waiting for this to open up, it's really important to make sure that you turn them off, because what's going to happen is it could potentially cause double entry inside your system. And if it's going to try to, Paladin's going to try to reach through the internet to make your credit cards run through that processor. If your internet's down, it's going to constantly say declined. It's going to constantly throw out errors, and then it's going to make for more of a mess on the back end for your bookkeeper when it comes down to doing your credit cards at the end of the day. So it really is very important that you turn off credit cards. You guys have the ability to do this. If you're not comfortable doing this, which a lot of customers aren't, and I don't blame you, what you can do is actually give us a call, and we can walk you through it, or we can get a hold of a tech for you, and we can get a remote connection and just go ahead and turn it off for you. And then just as important as it is to turn it off, when your internet comes back up and you guys are ready to start taking credit cards through Paladin again, you want to make sure to turn them back on. That's just as important too. That way you can process credit cards through Paladin a little more accurately once your internet does come back up. So we'll go ahead and log into Paladin here. Now, once we're logged in, okay, we want to go to File and Setup. And then probably mid-page or so, it says Credit Card. Right here, currently, this database is set to Mercury. But what you're going to want to do is set it to None. And as you can see, no information is put in there. You hit Save, Close, and then you can finish out the transaction. So I want to show you what it looks like so you know credit cards are turned off. Okay, let's say we just go to do a normal transaction, right? Your internet's down, but someone's paying with credit card. You go to your standalone terminal. You go here, checkout, just like you normally would. Credit card, just like you normally would, but the screen's going to look a little different. Right here, manually swipe. If approved, press next. If not, press cancel. Okay, this is how you know Paladin isn't reaching out to anything. So this is the screen that you're going to see. So as long as it's been approved on your other terminal, go ahead and hit next, and then you're done, just like a normal transaction would be. Okay, we will scan back over. All right, so sorry guys, give me one sec here. So those are going to be the Minetra options. Sorry, my computer's being silly. Give me one sec here. Sorry, guys. Okay, there we go. All right, so now on to the Mercury option. As you guys know, Mercury is our fully integrated credit card processing. Okay, there's a couple of different options that you can do inside Mercury. I'm going to briefly touch on them, and then we're going to unmute Joalice, and she's going to go ahead and talk for about 5 minutes or so to elaborate on this stuff. Okay. Number one, you can use a reader. It's like a Square reader, but it's Mercury's version, essentially is what it's going to kind of look like to give you an idea. Now, you can directly attach this to an iPad or your iPhone. I specifically say that because if you want to attach the reader itself and actually swipe the card, right now it is only compatible with Apple products. So keep that in mind. However, Mercury's software, okay, you can manually enter the card, so you can type it in on any device. It doesn't have to be Apple. So your Android or a Kindle, anything that is going to send and receive cellular data, you can use that for, okay? And then Mercury also offers a standalone terminal. Okay, it's going to connect to a to a VoIP phone or an analog phone, right? When the internet will not work. Now, same thing. You need to make sure that you turn credit cards off, just like I showed you just before, to make sure that this is going to work properly, and then turn them back on once your internet goes up. So let's go ahead and, Chad, can you unmute Joalis by chance? Or unmute anyone? And we
I'm on. 1 second.
Okay.
All right, Joalis, go ahead and give her a try. You should be able to talk.
Excellent. Can you hear me?
Hey, Joe. We can hear you.
Good morning. Excellent. Thanks, guys, for inviting me today. I appreciate you having me on this call. Another thing that I did want to add as far as the virtual terminal is concerned is merchants also have the option, if they do have an Apple product, to either purchase the reader or rent it. And you can discuss that with your sales executive or whomever you speak to here at Mercury to determine which path you want to actually explore with us. So that is another option that, that we didn't discuss. Either one we're willing to work with you on. As far as the standalone terminal, that is also an option. You can purchase or rent the standalone terminal from Mercury, whatever makes sense for you, you know, when you're setting up the account with us. The virtual terminal is not automatically turned on, and the virtual terminal is the option for either the Apple product or any other product that you have today to serve for alternative processing or when the internet goes down. So if that is something that you're interested in, definitely let us know up front that you would like to have this turned on for you, and we will automatically turn it on. So in the event down the road that you do want to have this readily accessible, whether it's through your Apple product or through any other device that has cellular access, as Jenny mentioned today, just give us a heads up and we will automatically turn that on for you. Now, to have it accessible through either the Apple or any other device, you will have to download that through either the iTunes store or your app store that's available through your smartphone and or your tablet. And that's basically all I had to add today. Thank you, Jenny.
Perfect. And will you give us some contact information? That way people can always come back and maybe get the phone number from this webinar as well?
Absolutely. Merchants can always contact me directly here at Mercury. I am the Paladin account manager. If you're a current Mercury merchant, you can contact me at 970-335-4928, and we can certainly add that feature on for you. Otherwise, you can email me also at B as in boy, RICENO@mercurypay.com if you have any additional questions or if this is something that you're interested in.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Joalis. And you guys can also
Thanks, Jenny.
contact Paladin. Thank you. You guys can also contact Paladin if you can't remember, or if you need a little bit more guidance, or you want us to help you with this contact process. We're available for you too. That's the beauty of having this business relationship with Mercury. So they've always been pretty good to us. So those are the Mercury options, and we've covered the Monetra options. So now, to kind of end the webinar, we want to talk about an option that will work for both Mercury and Monetra clients, okay, that Paladin actually sells. Go ahead and see if it's going to switch over. My slideshow is kind of being silly right now, guys. So, okay, so this is an option that we've had for sale for a little while, and it's really going to be a really good utilization for you guys, and it's really a good solid investment when you think of the income you guys could potentially lose if your internet goes down. It seems like nowadays people don't take checks and cash is almost non-existent. So you want to still be able to take credit cards anytime, day or night, no matter what the situation. Paladin has that sort of solution for you. What we have a failover router. Okay, so what this does, this is going to process credit cards automatically when the internet goes down. Okay, meaning you purchase this from us. There's no setup really. You just get it and plug it in, and what it's going to do, it's going to automatically hit cellular data. It detects when the internet is down, and then it's going to automatically switch on over to your cellular data, your cellular plan. So you would add this router to your plan, like whether it's Verizon or Sprint or AT&T, actually on the order form through Paladin. On the order form through Paladin, you actually select what carrier you have. That way we know how to get this working for you. Okay, and then it's going to add a line just like you would like a tablet or an extra phone line. That's essentially what this is going to do. Now, as soon as your internet comes back up, this router is actually going to turn off. That way your cellular data is not used. And then it'll just go right back to your internet, so you'll be good to go. Now, this is available on the new Paladin web store. Keep in mind the new web store has changed a little bit. You guys got an email about that. So go ahead and take a look and check that out, okay, as far as that goes. And again, if you need help, you can call customer service or you can call technical support as well, and then we would be more than happy to get this ordered for you. I believe the cost is around $800. I think, don't 100% quote me on that, but that's around about price range. Okay, but what that does, if you think about it, you make that investment, you will always be able to take credit cards no matter what the situation, especially on, say, the eastern states where the weather gets bad and then your internet is kind of one of the first things to go. Definitely a good, valuable thing for you to have. So the recording of this will be available, like I said at the beginning, at paladinpointofsale.com/webinars. I will be uploading that pretty much once I get done here. I'm going to go upload it, so the download of PDF slides will be available, and then also the slideshow itself. Now, keep in mind on the download, if you need to hear what Joe Alice had to say again for the Mercury options, that's not going to be available in the slides. It's going to be available just with us talking. So you're going to want to check that out. At this time, we have some time. So are there any questions or anything that kind of needs to be addressed at this point?
No questions, no. Joe, do you have anything to add?
No, I think we're good. Thank you. Thank you for having me on this call, guys. I appreciate it.
Perfect.
Thank you for joining us.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. That's the end of the webinar. Like I said, it'll be available a little bit later this afternoon. Next week, you're going to want to really tune into this one too. As we're gearing up towards the end of the year, and we have, end of year inventory counts and getting everything straight away. This next webinar is going to kind of tie into that. This whole month, we're trying to do things that are going to gear you up to make you as ready as possible and prepared as possible for end of year, whether it comes to taxes and inventory and income and things like that. So next week is going to be 9 main functions of the RF gun. Hopefully you guys have already started your year-end count. You've been doing a roll count all year, but the kind of last shebang, so to speak, is this month to get all your inventory correct and straightened out for your numbers for end of year books. So we're going to go over 9 functions of the RF gun, and Charles is going to go ahead and do that one for you. So you really want to go ahead and tune in for that one. So you guys have an incredible week, and I will speak to you guys in a couple of weeks. I'm going to be doing the year-end prep for you guys.